Chosen one, this is why your family members turned on you. They didn't turn on you because you were wrong. They turned on you because you were right. They didn't leave because you failed them. They stepped away because you carried something they could never understand. You're not abandoned, you're set apart. And if you stop reading now, you'll miss something that could change your entire walk with God. Don't ignore this. Your breakthrough, your healing, your peace might be hiding behind the pain of this betrayal. You need to hear this through. Everything is about to make sense. Comment Amen if you've ever cried, asking God why the very people you loved turned cold toward you. You are not crazy. You are not cursed. You are chosen. And being chosen does not mean being celebrated by everyone. In fact, it means the opposite. The call on your life was never meant to be convenient. It was meant to be divine. God placed something inside you: faith, favor, discernment, light, and those who walk in darkness, even if they carry your blood, may not want to stand too close. Not because of who you are, but because of who they are not willing to become. They mocked you, they misunderstood you, they twisted your words. Not because you're flawed, but because you're marked. You carry oil that they couldn't recognize. Just like Joseph, you had dreams that made your family uncomfortable. Just like Jesus, you carried truth that made your own people reject you. But the rejection was never the end. It was the doorway to purpose. You thought they were destroying you, but they were actually positioning you. This is why it hurts so deeply. Because it wasn't strangers who wounded you. It wasn't enemies from afar. It was the ones who laughed with you, the ones you trusted, the ones you prayed for. That's what makes this pain feel unbearable. But let me remind you, I saw it all. I watched every tear, every slammed door, every silent treatment, every whispered lie, and I allowed it, not to break you, but to build you. Don't mistake the breaking for the end. The breaking was a beginning. You had to be isolated so I could show you what they couldn't. You had to be separated so I could speak to you without their voices drowning out my truth. You had to be rejected so I could redirect you. You weren't being punished, you were being prepared. The silence wasn't my absence, it was my strategy. Because elevation always starts with separation. You keep asking, God, why would they turn on me like that? But I ask you, would you have ever left if they didn't? You were clinging to comfort. You were trying to bring them into a place they were never meant to go. So I allowed them to turn, so you could turn to me fully. Their betrayal became your blessing. Their distance became your destiny. I used what they meant for evil, and I'm still turning it for your good. Comment 1111 if you still believe I can restore what was broken and replace what was lost. I know you're tired. I know your heart feels heavy. You keep thinking maybe if you had explained better, loved harder, prayed more, things would have been different. But child, stop blaming yourself. The truth is, no matter what you did, they were never going to understand. Because spiritual things can't be explained to those who choose to stay carnal. Light cannot explain itself to the darkness. It can only shine. They were never rejecting you. They were rejecting the spirit in you. That's why the same words from someone else were received with joy, but yours were met with resistance. That's why your presence disturbed their comfort. Because conviction lives in you, and they didn't want to change, so they chose to push you away rather than grow. But don't you dare shrink to keep their approval. Don't you dare dim your light just to be accepted. I didn't call you to fit in. I called you to stand out. Yes, I know you miss them. I know you wish things could go back to how they used to be. But what if I told you I allowed that season to end because I have something far greater ahead. What if I told you the loss you feel is only making room for my promise? You've cried enough tears over them. It's time to wipe your eyes and lift your head. I'm not done writing your story. In fact, I'm just getting started. You're not alone. I've been walking beside you this whole time, even when you felt abandoned, even when you screamed into your pillow, even when you questioned if anyone saw your pain. I did. I saw every moment, and I'm proud of you. Proud that you didn't let the bitterness win. Proud that you still chose to pray, even through the betrayal. Proud that you trusted me when nothing made sense. That's the heart I can use. That's the faith I reward. Remember David? He was forgotten in the field, overlooked by his own father. But I saw him. I chose him. I anointed him in front of the very people who never believed in him, and I will do the same for you. The ones who dismissed you will witness your rising. The ones who said you'd never make it will have to watch me lift you, not to shame them, but to show them what favor looks like when it rests on a surrendered heart. Don't try to fix what I've ended. Don't reopen doors I've shut. Let me heal you. Let me lead you. I will bring the right voices, the right people, the right family, those who see the anointing in you and don't run from it, those who pour into you, not drain you, those who sharpen you, not shame you. But first, you must let go of who hurt you. And forgiveness, child, is not saying what they did was okay. It's saying, I'm not going to let their wrongness ruin the rest of my life. I'm choosing peace over poison. I'm choosing growth over grudges. That is where freedom begins, and where my glory pours out. You are chosen, you are protected, you are mine. And no betrayal, no lie, no distance can ever change that. I will restore your joy. I will bring clarity to the confusion. I will open doors they tried to close. And I will set a table for you in the presence of those who thought you'd never eat again. And I am not ignoring it. I'm using it, because I don't waste pain. Every time they broke your trust, I was building your character. Every time they questioned your worth, I was carving deeper into your purpose. This isn't punishment. This is placement. You didn't lose them. I removed them, not to hurt you, but to help you, because if they had stayed, they would have poisoned what I planted. You thought their presence was keeping you safe, but in truth, it was keeping you stuck. Their words were wrapped in love, but soaked in control. Their actions looked like concern, but were rooted in fear. And fear cannot grow beside faith. I am pruning you so you can bear fruit, not opinions. Comment 222 if you believe I am aligning your life for something far greater than what you lost. I know it still stings. I know you lay awake, wondering how people who knew your heart could turn their backs so quickly. I know the silence from them feels louder than any words. But hear me, child. When I say this, what you thought was abandonment was actually deliverance. You were praying for breakthrough, and I answered. You just didn't expect it to come through betrayal. But sometimes, that's how I move. Not because I want you to suffer, but because I want you to soar. Even my son was betrayed. Even he was kissed by someone who walked closely beside him. Don't think you're alone in this. You are walking a road that saints before you have traveled. Joseph was betrayed by his brothers and thrown into a pit. But the pit wasn't the end, it was the beginning. The betrayal was the setup. And through it, I positioned him in a place of power where he saved not just Egypt, but the very family who hurt him. That is what I can do when you keep your heart soft and your eyes on me. You've been trying to figure it out, but I'm asking you to let me fight this. I never called you to carry the weight of their choices. I called you to follow me, trust me, even when the wounds feel fresh. Obey me, even when it's hard. Praise me, even through the ache. I promise you, this story ends in redemption. What the enemy tried to use to break you will become the very thing I use to bless you. You've spent enough time questioning your worth, enough time wondering what you did wrong. You've apologized for things that were never your fault. You've taken blame that doesn't belong to you. But child, their reaction wasn't a reflection of your failure. It was a revelation of your calling. They saw something in you that made them uncomfortable. The fire, the favor, the fierce grace I put inside you, it shines too bright for some to stay close. But don't dim it, don't hide it, let it burn. This is the season I bring clarity to confusion. The masks will fall, the truth will rise, and you will begin to see that I was never late. I was preparing everything perfectly. Your tears were never in vain. I've caught everyone, and in due time they will water the harvest I'm about to place in your hands. Comment 555 if you believe your next chapter will be greater than the pain you're leaving behind. You didn't walk away empty-handed, even if they took your peace for a season, even if they walked off with pieces of your trust. What remains is enough. I'm multiplying what's left. You think you need them to be whole again, but I say to you, my grace is sufficient. My love fills every broken gap. My presence heals what no apology ever could. Don't wait for their validation. Don't wait for their return. What I have for you doesn't require their agreement. Yes, I will bring restoration, but not always through them. Sometimes restoration looks like new relationships, new beginnings, new laughter in places that used to hold your pain. Sometimes it means seeing the same faces, but no longer needing their approval. Sometimes it's looking back and realizing you made it without what you thought you couldn't live without. That's what I'm doing. I'm making you whole in me. You may feel small right now, like everything is too quiet, like nothing's moving. But what if I told you that in the silence, I'm building your next? That the quiet isn't emptiness, it's foundation? You are not in a season of being forgotten, you are in a season of being formed. And what I'm forming in you is stronger than what was lost. Don't despise the waiting. It's sacred, it's holy, and it's necessary. Remember my word. When your mother and father forsake you, then the Lord will take you up. That means when the closest ones leave, I get even closer. You're not an orphan, you're mine, and I don't leave what I love. I walk with it through the fire. I lead it beside still waters. I prepare a table even when enemies are still present. That's who I am, and that's what I'll do for you. You are not too broken. You are not too forgotten. You are not too late. You are exactly where you need to be for me to show up, and I will. Just hold on. Keep walking. Keep praying. Keep trusting. You're not fighting alone. My angels surround you. My spirit lives in you. My favor goes before you, and my word is still true. Love that crumbles when you rise higher was never grounded in truth. They loved the version of you that stayed small, the one that didn't challenge their comfort. But the moment you stepped into who I made you to be, their hearts shifted. Not because you changed for the worse, but because you began to shine too brightly. I saw how confused you were, how the same ones who used to cheer for you began to compete with you, how support turned into silence, how hugs turned into distance. And I need you to know, it was not your fault. You didn't become arrogant. You became aware of the calling, aware of the oil, aware of the weight of purpose I placed on your life. And that awareness made you dangerous not to me, but to the spirits in them that weren't ready to let go of control. Comment 777 if you believe my calling over you is greater than the silence you're walking through. I'm not just healing you from what they did, I'm renewing your vision. You've been looking back too long, trying to understand a heart that was never in alignment with mine, and I'm saying it's time to look forward. What I have ahead will not resemble the pain behind you. This isn't the end of your story. This is the turning point. I'm not just restoring your heart, I'm restoring your hope. The belief that joy is still possible, that peace is still real, that love can still exist in pure form. I need you to stop waiting for them to come back and make it right. Some will never apologize, not because you don't deserve it, but because pride won't let them admit the truth. And that's okay. I will vindicate you. I will defend your name. I will cover what you can't fix. Your job is not to chase closure. Your job is to walk in freedom. The moment you let go of needing them to explain, I step in with peace that surpasses all understanding. I know what it cost you. The memories, the long nights, the moments you swallowed your voice just to keep the peace. I saw it all, and I will not let your sacrifice be wasted. I'm bringing honor where there was shame. I'm bringing strength where you once felt weak. I'm bringing laughter where sorrow tried to settle in. That's who I am. I don't leave my children stuck in mourning. I lead them into dancing again. Comment 999 if you trust that I'm turning your mourning into something beautiful and new. You didn't imagine the shift. You weren't being dramatic. Spiritual warfare is real, and often it comes disguised as misunderstanding. The enemy would love to convince you that this is the end of connection, that no one will ever love you again, that no one will see you clearly. But those are lies. I am not a God of confusion. I am the God of clarity, of restoration, of divine alignment. And I have prepared hearts that will not run from your light but rejoice in it. People who will celebrate your growth and speak life into your purpose. But first, I must detox your spirit from the bitterness trying to take root. Bitterness doesn't protect you, it paralyzes you. It keeps you anchored to moments I'm trying to move you past. Forgiveness isn't about denying the pain, it's about refusing to stay connected to it. When you forgive, you're not saying they were right, you're saying their wrong won't rule your future. That's when I can move freely in your life. That's when blessings begin to flow again. I am for you, not against you. And I know that sometimes, when those closest walk away, it makes you question if something is wrong with you. But listen, my son was perfect, and they still turned on him. They still chose Barabbas over him. They still mocked him, spat on him, and left him alone in his most painful hour. And yet, he said, "Father, forgive them." That's power, that's love. That's the example I've placed before you, not because it's easy, but because it's freeing. You're not meant to carry this anger into your next. You're not meant to wear this pain like armor. Lay it down. Right here, right now, you've carried it long enough. It's time to travel light. The season I'm leading you into requires space. Space for joy, space for new people, space for clarity and fresh wind. There's no room for resentment, no room for regret, only room for me. I'm lifting the weight off your shoulders. I'm wiping the tears. You don't even cry anymore because you got used to the pain. I'm breathing life back into your dreams. You almost gave up. You almost settled, but I stepped in. I placed this word before you to remind you that I still have you. That even when others let go, I never did. I'm holding you now, like I always have, and I will never let go. Everything you lost, I can replace. Every piece of you that broke, I can heal. But even more than that, I can use it. I will take what was meant to crush you and use it to create something that glorifies me and lifts you. Your testimony will carry the scent of resurrection. People will see the glow of deliverance in your eyes. They will wonder how you made it, and you'll simply say, God never left me. I didn't just choose you for the good days. I chose you for the dark ones too. I chose you for the fire, because I knew you'd walk through it and not burn. I knew your faith would survive. I knew your praise wouldn't stop. And now, I reward that endurance. I honor that trust. I lift up the humble. And child, your heart has stayed soft in the midst of storms that could have hardened you. That's what pleases me. Don't be afraid of what's next. You're not stepping into the unknown alone. My spirit is already there. My hand is steady. My plans are good. And my power is greater than anything that's tried to delay or deny you. Keep going. Keep trusting. The ones who walked away will see your rising, but they won't be able to stop it. The ones who doubted you will witness the favor on your life and know that I was with you the whole time. There is gold inside of you, but gold is not revealed in comfort. It is revealed in fire. That fire you've been walking through, the confusion, the silence, the loss, it's not for your destruction, it's for your revealing. You are emerging stronger, wiser, more anointed. The very pressure that tried to crush you is becoming the platform I will use to raise you. And those who left? They were not equipped to walk with you through this. They weren't rejected because they were bad. They were removed because they weren't assigned. Comment 1010. If you trust I am making beauty from ashes, and nothing was ever wasted. You see, I love your family more than you know. I love those friends you lost. But I also love you too much to let them block what I'm doing in you. Some relationships had to end because you were no longer who you used to be. You outgrew the box they tried to keep you in. You outgrew the fear they couldn't let go of, and they didn't know how to walk with someone who was becoming everything they still denied in themselves. You didn't betray them by growing. They betrayed themselves by refusing to grow with you. They started calling you different, like it was a bad thing. They mocked your faith, questioned your silence, misread your boundaries. But I want you to understand, your growth was never meant to be understood by those who weren't meant to go where I'm taking you. Some people saw you changing and called it pride, but I call it obedience. You finally started listening to me more than them. And yes, that will always make others uncomfortable. But don't go back. Don't shrink. Don't explain away the fire in your bones. I didn't bring you this far to let you crumble under the weight of what they think. I am the one who formed you. I am the one who called you. I am the one who has walked every step beside you. And I have never been confused about who you are. While others debated your worth, I was preparing your table. While they questioned your path, I was opening the next door. They may not see it now, but they will. Because what I'm doing next in your life, they won't be able to ignore. Comment 1515. If you believe the doors I'm opening for you will silence every lie spoken against you. Don't let bitterness take your crown. Don't let the weight of their silence stop your song. You are not defined by who turned away. You are defined by who never did. And I, the Lord your God, have never turned my face from you. Even when you doubted, even when you broke down, even when you tried to carry the pain alone, I was there, and I'm still here, not watching from afar, but holding your hand, whispering truth into every lie the enemy tried to plant in your mind. You've asked for signs. You've asked for clarity. You've begged for peace. And child, here it is, this very moment, these very words, they are not coincidence. This is my answer. This is my comfort. I am reminding you who you are, not the version of you they painted in their minds, but the real you, the one I knit together in your mother's womb, the one I anointed with purpose before anyone ever celebrated you. You are my creation, my vessel, my voice in the earth, and you are not going to fade here. This pain you carry, it's real. I see it. But it's not the end. It's a turning point, a sacred shift. What if I told you the rejection wasn't the final blow, but the first step into resurrection? What if I told you the very people who walked away had to, so you could walk into what I've destined for you without delay? It's not personal, it's prophetic. Because I've marked your life for impact, and I won't let familiarity chain you to what's no longer bearing fruit. Let them go. I know that sounds harsh. But some of you are still holding on to memories, replaying the conversations, wondering what you could have done differently. Let me make this plain. You did what you could. You prayed. You tried. You waited. You gave them your heart. And still, they chose distance. Still, they chose coldness. That wasn't your failure. That was their free will. Now, it's time to choose peace. Not because you're giving up on love, but because you're giving in to me. I'm not just restoring what was broken, I'm replacing it. And what I bring will come with clarity, with peace, with purpose. You won't have to beg for it. You won't have to chase it. It will find you because it's been assigned to you. The love I will place in your life will not mock your fire. It will fan it. The people I send next will not shrink back when you shine. They will honor it, protect it, and call it holy. And when they come, you'll understand why the others had to leave. So breathe. You made it through what was meant to destroy you. You kept your heart open even when it was breaking. You stayed faithful even when you felt forgotten. And that kind of faith does not go unnoticed. I will reward it. I will multiply it. I will build upon it until your life becomes a testimony of what only I can do. This is not the end. This is not the breaking point. This is your rising. And yes, the enemy tried to use this pain to isolate you. He wanted to convince you that you're alone, unloved, misunderstood. But he is a liar. You are seen, you are chosen, you are carried. And you are stepping into a season where what I placed inside of you will finally come forth without apology. So keep walking, keep believing. I'm not finished writing your story. And the next chapter will make sense of every sleepless night, every silent treatment, every tear-stained pillow. You didn't lose your family. You didn't lose your worth. You didn't lose your future. You found me. You're not who you used to be. You've changed, grown, and they noticed. But not everyone celebrated it. Some saw your growth as a threat. They saw your hunger for me, and instead of being inspired, they became intimidated. That's not your fault. You didn't dim your light. They just weren't ready to walk out of the shadows. And sometimes, the most painful thing I will ever do in your life is protect you from people who won't grow with you. Comment 1717. If you believe I'm not just removing people, I'm making room for divine replacements. You weren't wrong for loving them. You weren't wrong for wanting them to understand. But you cannot make people value what they choose not to see. Your heart was pure, but their vision was clouded. And now you're left holding fragments of a bond that felt like it should have lasted forever. You keep blaming yourself for their silence, for their distance. But child, sometimes silence is my way of speaking. Their absence is my way of making room. You cried out for me to bring peace. And I answered, but not in the way you expected. I removed the chaos disguised as company. I stripped away the noise masked as love. Because what you called connection was actually distraction. You were surrounded, but not seen. You were loved, but only on their terms. That is not my best for you. I don't offer half love. I give wholeness. And anyone I bring into your life must reflect my heart for you, not their fears, not their pride, not their control. This is the season of truth, and truth can hurt, but it will never harm. I'm revealing things now so you don't carry false peace into your future. The wounds they left are real, but so is my healing. I won't just close the scar, I will pour purpose into it. You will look back one day and see that this pain carved space in you for more of me. That's what I'm doing. I'm enlarging your capacity, expanding your spirit, making room for the promise. You think you're standing in the ruins, but I see you standing on the edge of restoration. Don't focus on the ashes. Look up. I am already rebuilding. I am already resurrecting what you thought was buried. You're still here because there is still more. And I am the God of more. More peace, more strength, more clarity, more love. What you lost was not greater than what's coming. You're not stuck. You're being set up. Comment 1919 if you know I'm restoring you in places no one else even saw you break. There's been a battle in your mind. You smile in public, but in secret you replay conversations and memories like maybe you missed something. But child, I see the truth you can't speak. I see the loyalty they abused, the generosity they took for granted. I see how you gave them grace over and over again until you had nothing left to give yourself. That's not weakness, that's love. But now it's time to love yourself enough to let me take over. Let me be your defender. Let me protect your heart. Let me show you how it feels to be fully embraced. You don't need to keep proving yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You don't need to keep trying to earn what should have always been freely given. Your value doesn't decrease just because they walked away. Your identity isn't shaken because they turned their backs. What I say about you still stands. You are my beloved. You are my child. You are anointed, appointed, and called for such a time as this.